I mean, when a survivor said black smoke attacked, I was like, oh my freaking god! So the thing from Lost has come back and attacked them. But long behold, I found out, no, they turned to Colossal Kabane. I was kind of like, that appears to be a problem. Like, that's a major problem right there. I was like, you might want to fix that, Akoma. And then, yeah, long behold, that whole entire plan went to crap. I was kind of like, Akoma, he was actually being kind of helpful in this episode, doing something, coating the actual, like, kind of swords in the actual, like, layer of the heart of the actual Kabane. But in the end, the mofo cannot catch a break because literally you can't. I was kind of like, you poor sod. You were doing so good in this episode. You actually had this plan. It was going to go through. It's everything going to work. You go to that boiler room, do everything. Actually going to get that crane to work and then actually take up that post that just fallen down. But no, it didn't work in the end because I guess Mume completed Leroy Jenkins that entire operation and attacked the place where Ikoma said, don't do it. Like, he said, don't attack the actual boiler room head on because you're going straight into the nest. That's a bad idea. You alert everyone there. Long behold, what she do? Attacks it straight away. I was kind of like, you had one job. Like, you should have shouted. You had one job, Mume. One job, you ruined it. Just completely effed it up. No. I mean, this episode was kind of like the episode where Ikoma was being the helpful person, but then it just kind of went to crap. I was kind of like, you poor sod. I was like, you poor sod. But they arrive at Yashiro Station. What happens is they get no answer from Yashiro Station. They're kind of like, well, we've gone through a lot of crap already, but this seems a bit strange. And once they get there, they see the survivors. But what happens is the outpost had actually fallen on top of the tracks, and now they're unable to actually get in there or get past it. So basically now they're kind of like, oh god, we've gone through a lot more crap now. Like there's even more crap to get through now. So yeah, I'm kind of like, what do we do now? And Ikoma actually devises a plan to actually kind of get to that boiler room, kind of operate the boiler room, get the crane working, take up the outpost, and actually get through. Which kind of does go to fruition, slightly, then it kind of fails. But the main focal point really for me was Mume's character. How Mume went from being a badass at the beginning of the episode, kind of acting like a complete awesome badass, to, I don't really like a character right now, in the sense she kind of went to being a butthurt kind of character, in the sense once she, I guess, in a way, she kind of was, her pride got hurt. Once the bloke said that was the ear of the master, who's also her brother, he said, look, once you know worth to you, once you know worth, you'll be abandoned. Like, you prove your worth, otherwise you'll be abandoned. And she's kind of like, oh no. Like, she's kind of like, oh, this isn't what I wanted to hear. In the sense, basically, we kind of know that the master himself, the person we don't really know much about right now, aside we know it's Mume's brother, the only thing we know really about him is the fact that once a person proves like weakness, they get thrown aside straight away. Through a flashback, we kind of see this woman get completely decimated by possibly a guard of the master. We're not too sure it's even the master himself. Either way, she gets killed. So I'm guessing what we're learning from the ear of the master, who's the bloke that she sees inside the train, who's one of the survivors, who actually kind of allays this whole information to her. That really, once you prove weakness, you get abandoned. So he's all like, prove your worth, or you'll be abandoned too. And that kind of just shakes her to a point where she kind of just goes a little bit off rails, pun the freaking pun, because there's too many train puns in this anime, but still, she goes a bit off the rails and kind of does, like, start acting out of character, start acting against what everyone's trying to plan. And since Akoma's plan, she goes, I don't like that plan. It just completely goes against it. Like, it says, we're going through your plan, but if you go through my plan, you'll just do it freaking quicker. But if we do your plan, you'll just be pulling along behind me. It's kind of like, no, look, you got to devise a plan here. You got to actually kind of think things through before you do something. You can't just go in guns blazing, war cry playing in the background, and just destroy everything in your wake. Yeah, she completely decimates his Kabane instantly within 56 seconds. While War Cry by Hiroki Sawano is playing in the background. Granted, that whole scene was kind of like, Sawano, mate, like, I meant to not like this scene because she completely Leroy Jenkins the entire operation, but stop it. That's my favorite track of the entire soundtrack. You're putting it in the background, I'm kind of like, this scene is so badass, but in my heart, it's kind of like, no, can't feel this way. It's like, just don't do it, Sawano, please. Just don't do it. But yeah, she committed Leroy Jenkins' entire operation because she's kind of just acting out of character in the sense she goes back to where she was originally in the sense like kind of being up a coma, just kind of just abusing him completely. I was kind of like, oh okay. I mean, she can be went back to what she was doing before and just said if you don't follow my plan, just keep following along. Which she kind of does get to the boiler room, kind of takes out the Kabane around this boiler room. But as soon as I actually get into the boiler room, operating the boiler room, kind of go, yeah, we did it. Everything goes to crap. Like literally everything does. Kabanes are attacking from the bottom, and yeah, they've got to escape because literally there's a lot of Kabanes going at the bottom. Like there's a Kabane like swarm, like it's almost like a nest of like flies that just coming up at Kabane. Just once they turn into the Colossal Kabane, or if you want to call it the Titan Kabane, really, if you want to call it that way, literally came in and just completely decimated everything. I was kind of like, like, yeah, that's the real enemy here. I was like, how are we going to take down that thing? Like, in a sense, they don't have the correct abilities, correct gear to take down that Colossal Kabane. In a sense, Akoma's kind of this person is just like, yeah, don't worry about me. I can go in there, guns blazing. I won't die. Like, literally, I won't die. I'm a Kabaneri. I won't freaking die. So, it's alright for me. But, when you think about it in a larger context, what do they have to take down this massive Colossal Kabane? Because we learned that Kabanes can actually form together and make a giant one. I was kind of sitting here wondering, there's one scene that kind of had like a flashback, kind of cut back, and it had like this massive mountain of Kabane. It's kind of like, hey yo, Araki, right, stop a second here. Like, are you trying to... I kind of saw... I've seen this somewhere before, and I realised I saw it in World War Z. Similar things, and the whole thing, like a wall being built up by zombies to actually kind of like go over that wall in World War Z. Same thing, exactly the same thing happened. Kind of happened here as well. I'm guessing they must have built up a wall and took down an outpost, and a lot of people died inside Yashiro Station. That's what led to the events on this episode. But still, I'm kind of sitting here going, how in the name of Christ are they going to defeat these massive colossal, like, Kabane, in a sense? How are they going to defeat it? Because they don't possess the correct equipment to take this thing down, because it seems like it's something you can't just drive your massive train into, go, yeah, hope for the best, that's going to do something. No, it seems like this is going to be something really damn serious that either you're going to take it by the neck, it's going to fall down, or I have no idea. It seems like to be the massive thing for the next episode, the massive thing that they have to take down, since they have to kind of see what they can do, because it seems like there's going to be a very kind of, I guess in a way, it's going to go either they might die or they might find a way to take it down, and long behold, they actually get through. We're not too sure, unless by some fluke, because what happens is, I mean, Mume's fighting CQC Master Kabane. Like, literally, I thought at one point, if you put the scene from Metal Gear Solid 3 when Big Boss is fighting the boss, it literally was just like that when Mume was fighting him. I was kind of like, he's fighting CQC Master the Kabane. I was kind of like, okay, this is going somewhere. And she gets thrown off the edge, and then Ikoma's all like, well, I can't leave her to die. So he goes down there, saves her, but long behold, the actual massive smoke just happens, and they kind of turn into Colossal Kabane. And I'm guessing Ikoma and Mume are kind of trapped underneath a lot of rubble. So basically, as we kind of understand, unless part Japanese, part like American engineer dude just comes out of fracking nowhere and just goes, you know what, mate? I actually possess this massive, great ability to kill all these Kabane. I can take it down. Like, literally, I can just go in and take it down. They're effing screwed. Like, it literally, they are a bit screwed right now. And since they're kind of like, yeah, we did it, we got through, but no, now they're screwed again. It's kind of like, this train is literally a hate train. Like, they just don't catch a break. They think they're going to do something good. They're going to go through with something good. Long behold, no. Like, literally, they just can't catch a break. It's really depressing, because you think to yourself, like, these guys just have a break after a while, in a sense. They've kind of gone through a lot of crap in the past, like, 4 episodes. Long behold, more crap to go through. I was kind of like, man, just save us, part Japanese, part American, like, engineer dude. He seems like he's gonna just do anything in his power just to save everyone. Hopefully he does, because he's so freaking cool. Like, he literally is my favourite character there, just a low-key best character. But overall, amazing episode, I must say. It's a great episode. I just didn't like Mume's kind of shift the character, in the sense you kind of went to being a bit of an arsehole. Even when that dog died, it's kind of like, oh, well, at least a dog died before you could actually throw it aside. I was kind of like, no, I don't think I had larger context here. Like, since she's basically kind of harking back to the whole idea of her being abandoned as well. And since basically she was saying, oh, well, at least it died before it can get abandoned. Maybe she's kind of thinking to herself the exact same thing would have happened to me if I was being injured. Would I be thrown aside? Or would it be kind of the same thing, I was stuck with my brother? I kind of thought to myself, larger context, you're being a massive arsehole in this scene, but when you think about it, maybe she's just kind of talking about her own kind of experience of what would happen if in that case. I didn't like it, and how everyone else is reacting to it. It's like, the hell, man, like, what would you say that? In a sense, they're kind of grieving. Like, I was kind of sitting there going, they're grieving. Mume, there's a time and place to kind of say these things. You don't say it right now, they're grieving. And it's kind of says, well, she's a Kabaneri, and I was kind of like, damn, that hit deep. That really did hit deep. And then the comment just go into it, it's like, don't attack the bloody boiler room. Attack the bloody boiler room. I was kind of like, but I must say, soundtrack was pretty freaking great, I must say. There's that one scene where you're taking down all those Kabanes using the gas of suicide pack and just throwing it in there and just kind of exploding all of them. I was kind of sitting there going, the soundtrack's freaking amazing, the scene, but the scene itself, I shouldn't be taken up to the greatest ability, in the sense I can't just say, oh, this is actually badass, because she's doing the wrong decision here. She's actually not doing the thing she should be doing. And then that one scene which is in the boiler room, and then she's like, I can do it, don't worry. He goes, shut up, and it kind of makes me realise, yeah, her brain is not in the right place right now. She isn't acting straight. She isn't thinking straight. What she thinks she's doing is the right thing. She thinks what she's doing is the correct thing. In a sense, where she's the best is taken down as Kabanes. But she isn't thinking straight. The planet she's going through with isn't doing really much. And when the Black Smoke attacks, she's kind of like, oh, babe, what can I do now? And then CQC Master Kabane comes in and just decimates her completely. And then next time, we don't know what's going to happen with her. I mean, Ikoma's stuck underneath a rubble with her, so we don't know if Mume's alive or dead. We don't know what's going to happen with those two. Either way, I'm still interested to see what happens, but I just kind of don't like Mume's character in this episode. It went from badass to kind of being my prize being completely decimated by this one dude who just came out of fracking nowhere, and then going to eyes Leroy Jenkins' entire operation and completely might have just ruined everything that might have happened because we might have got out of the situation alive. Still, would they have done it? Would they have got out alive? I don't know. Like, that's the other question. If they'd gone through with it normally, they didn't really kind of bank on the Black Smoke happening, in the sense that the whole legion of Kabanes attacking. So to me, they might have actually still had the area of there might be a problem still. They could have actually had that area problem again, but maybe it would have been a bit more efficient. They might have actually kind of got out there a little less dead. But I don't know. I could be wrong. So, with all that said, I've been the driver. If you leave a like, do leave a like. It does sound quite a bit. Leave a sub. Do leave a sub. It does sound quite a bit. But with all that said, I've been the driver, and I will see you later. Bye for now.